Digital Circus. That was your choice. That was your choice to do it this late. Well, I guess it was kind of my choice too. I just
yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Digital Circus. Woo!
We definitely didn't record one for episode 3, and Red definitely didn't.
Yeah, that's on me. That is fuck, dude. That sucks so bad. So I was trying in my lifelong pursuit to play Ape Escape 3. I was like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm downloading an entire fucking PS2 onto my shitty little 2018 laptop. Let's do it. And took like all my space. But little did I know, most of my space was because I had the entirety of like every Chainsaw Man review we've ever done since the beginning of the channel, which is like hours and like hundreds of hours of video just on my laptop. So I was like, let me just highlight that, delete, and buried in there was episode 3 of Digital Circus review. So, sucks to suck, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good episode.
It was good. We had the Kinger stuff, phenomenal. They're like, oh, is Kinger? I mean, given the fact that he's named Kinger, he's probably pretty important. He probably potentially was like one of the main developers. He had that line about like however many years of computer science for this. So clearly, Kinger's important to this. He came, especially considering he came in here with his wife. You know what I mean? Like no one else came in here with someone else they knew personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel both last episode and this episode in my soul.
So I don't know if you know this. Gooseworks, the creator of the show, worked at a McDonald's for 5 years. So this was her really drawing from some past traumas, and you can tell. Because someone was like, because she was releasing a bunch of like background, like behind the scenes design sketches and shit, and they were like, "Aren't you gonna release the design for Spudsies?" And she's like, "It's all in my head, totally memorized. It's based off of the McDonald's I worked on for 5 years. I can't escape it."
I hear the fucking alarms from Amazon in my sleep.
Oh, I was thinking the McDonald's.
No, the Andon alarm. That fucking classic. If you've ever worked at a goddamn Amazon warehouse, you know what I'm talking about.
So this right here, this is why I love indie animation, because like every piece of content that comes from like a big corporation these days, it's filtered through all the execs and what they approve and what they don't approve. So like this episode that's just straight from the heart of someone who, now Gooseworks is like this huge success. Netflix calling her up, fuck everyone calling her up, like, how do we get the next $1 billion idea? But as of like a year ago, she was not a nobody, but she went from like almost a nobody, just kind of famous on the internet, and then like 2 years before that, she was working at a McDonald's, So like this is really raw shit that comes directly from like, an actual human being, like with a soul, like one of us basically, right? Like a show of the people here, And I mean, this whole fucking episode is like, basically, Gangle here is working at a minimum wage job that fucking hates you with a disability, right? It's working at a minimum wage job, masking at a minimum wage job with like BPD, basically, which I mean, got hella relatable.
Yeah, no, straight up.
Yeah, because I can just replace masking with autism, or I mean, everyone's been there, like. Whew.
It's called a manic episode, and you're getting 3 more seasons.
Anyway, this is literally. So I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. We can start off with how much something that drew me to this show instantly from like episode 1 was how damn good the voice acting is. I mean, it's actually absurd how good the voice acting is. It almost makes you. Like, I think it's easy to forget how bad the voice acting is in most shows when you see good voice acting like this. I mean, you get these lines from like basic corporate stuff where it's very much just like line reading, like, let's go over there, you know what I mean? Whereas like, God, the way they talk in this show, they just really talk like real people. I mean, when you watch stuff, or you like me, do you get little like vocal stems, like you just start like repeating lines like throughout your day? So like there's the one that I'm fascinated with from this episode is so first of all, this entire conversation, but I'm leading to a point. So she comes up and she's like, Jax, the bathroom's a biohazard, and then he's like, I don't know, shouldn't like a biohazard crew take care of that? and then so she does this whole like, well, that's not a can-do attitude. He's like, don't you care about this job? No, I don't care about any of this. And then this is the part I love. Okay, it's like Gangle couldn't even think of a response, so she goes, bad. That I am obsessed with that line. I can't even imagine sitting down and writing that line. It's like such a strange line, but like so I felt it in my soul. Yeah, well, it just feels kind of like Gangle is like, I don't even know how to respond to this, so he just literally just like bad.
But like having done retail, you're in charge of everything, right?
Yeah.
The bathroom.
Oh my God, yeah.
The stocking, everything. And the gas station I worked at wasn't visited.
I remember I drove you there, and then that was a whole thing.
It wasn't visited by the best people. Like,
that was an ass location, yeah.
But you would find used like fucking heroin needles and all sorts of shit.
I would quit so fucking fast. I'm too good of a boy.
No. I'm like, it's paying my rent. Sometimes maybe.
Yeah, no good. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, where to start with this one other than the amazing, oh my God, Ragatha, hi, excellent.
Ragatha needs a drive home.
So this is a great way to explore Ragatha's character, because Ragatha's thing is and I like, it's been a while since I've seen a character like this in shows. Normally it's so kind of on the nose. It's like, okay, Ragatha's the nice one. But with Ragatha, her toxic trait is toxic positivity, in the sense that like you kind of get the vibe that maybe her niceness isn't genuine. She's masking in her own way, because you get the vibe too from like lines in this episode that she probably in her real life she grew up wealthy, well off. She's talking about how she had horses, and like tea parties and shit. So I mean, you get the vibe that she like was pretty wealthy. She comes from a wealthy family. And I think that she probably grew up to be like polite always. So like she views herself as probably like, I'm such a good person. I'm helping this poor mentally depressed girl over here. You know what I mean? And like we see that where Gangle's like, yeah, Ragatha's nice. I love her. But like, it can hurt almost worse when you get the feeling that like she's talking to you out of pity. Right? It's like, oh, I'm only talking to this girl because if I don't, she'll kill herself. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the vibe you get from Ragatha and Gangle's relationship. And we know from interviews that the next episode is going to be Ragatha focus, and then leading into Jack's focus. So I think if you actually look at the very end of the episode and zoom in, when Gangle comes over to talk to, when Zubul comes over to talk to Gangle about their drawings, if you zoom in the background, Ragatha's still high. She's still high. So I think that we're going to go into the next episode with Ragatha still on the stupid sauce, and that's going to lead into like a Ragatha character arc where we kind of like really dive into like her problems and her trauma.
And that'll be interesting because like
clear your throat, brother.
Sorry.
No,
I was eating a cosmic brownie and drinking a whole ass bottle of water to try and wake myself up a little bit.
Hey, I'm just excited. I'm ecstatic that it's water. I was ready for it to be like a monster or something.
No, I haven't consumed any energy drinks, so I'm saving the last three I got in the fridge for tomorrow.
Fair enough.
But anyway, there's this like level of like, I don't know if it's like considered necessities or just the mandatory niceness that comes with like the rich pompous family, right? So
yeah,
you get that level of like you must be nice to everyone around you, or otherwise you're not seen as prim and proper.
And it feels so fake. Have you ever watched the Good Place?
Yes.
Do you remember Tahini? I think was her name from The Good Place. The very tall. She was like I don't know what her nationality was, but she wasn't white. She was kind of like a little darker skinned, very tall lady.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of her character too. Like, I throw these fancy parties and she was very fake nice, and you could the second someone pissed her off, she would like behind their back be like, what a bitch, but then like in front of their back, oh hello, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from Ragatha, is that like she's hiding a lot of resentment and anger. Even in the first episode, you kind of get that vibe where she's trying to be super supportive of Pomni, but then Pomni abandons her, and you can tell that she's like pissed about that, but she can't bring herself to say anything.
Right, and because it's been forced onto her by the subculture of the rich and famous and that kind of shit.
Probably, yeah.
And it hurts so much more when you have that, required out of, like, necessity side of niceness and toxic positivity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I get it, because even in the backwoods ass town I grew up in, like there were people that were like relatively well off, but they wanted to get into like they wanted to show their kids like the other side of it, so they didn't grow up to be, rich and pompous. And
the classic, like, the rich people come down to the fucking, like, slums. Like, look at how the poor live. Isn't this quaint?
Basically, yeah. Behind closed doors, they still practice, like, the whole, like, prim, proper bullshit. But at school, they're, like, culture shocked.
Yeah, I wonder if Ragatha's story is, like, she got to test out this, like, new fancy VR headset because, like, her family was super rich or something. Like, maybe that's how she got in here.
I feel like that might be a way we go with it.
The first tester of the nerve gear.
The beta testers over here, like, oh, we get to explore all this shit. Meanwhile, like, it fails, like, way earlier than it should have.
The vibe I've always gotten from Pomni is that, like, because she says, like, I put on some weird headset and now I'm here. The vibe I got from her was, like, I almost wonder if she was, like, exploring some, like, abandoned office where it was just, like, sitting there, like, running still somehow. I don't know. It feels to me like Pomni got in there, like, through less than legal avenues. I always got that vibe. Or, like, accidental. I don't know. Like, I don't see Pomni. Pomni seems like such a nervous person. It's hard for me to imagine her just being like, hell yeah, put that shit on me. It feels like someone maybe, like, forced it onto her or something.
And she was doing some shady shit to pay her rent for the month.
Ooh, goddamn, Pomni, let's go. Honestly, fucked in a VR headset would be wild.
Honestly, yeah. Back shots in VR, anyone?
So, let's see. Yeah, I mean, this episode's really interesting because, like, the structure of it is, like, one of the most unique I've seen in a while. It really doesn't follow, like, a normal, like, adventure structure where it's like there's a problem, we solve the problem, we go on an adventure, we come back from the adventure. It's very much the normal, we're just gonna work a fast food job. And I knew, like, right when I saw that was what this episode was gonna be, I was like, okay, this episode's definitely gonna have some hardcore character shit because, like, they're just at a fast food restaurant the whole time, so there's no, like, threat. So it is, the threat will be them arguing. And oh my god. All right, let's fucking Ragatha in the deep fryer, man. Oops.
Why, Jack?
Looks like I've taken Ragatha and dropped her in the deep fryer. Remember, they feel all the pain. That they feel the pain. They just can't die. On some no mouth yet I must scream. So, like, when she's drunk or high or whatever and she's like, I hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. It's like, yeah, she probably does really hate. I mean, he is, like, causing them real physical pain when he does the things he does to them.
Yeah, no, like, it's crazy the amount of torture that these characters have gone through simply because of Jax. I still love him as a character.
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited to see how far he pushes it. I think Jax is going to have a moment where he goes too far. There's another... Gooseworks is such a yapper on Tumblr. I mean, she even said, like, I need to stop before I spoil this whole fucking show. Someone asked Gooseworks at one point, what's the worst thing Jax has ever done? And she was like, you'll see it. So I think we might see him, like, maybe accidentally push someone too far, cause them to abstract or something. Which, of course, is basically, like, mind death, ego death.
Yeah.
So...
it's going to be Ragatha.
That's kind of the theory, is what I'm hearing, yeah. That'll be nuts, dude. That would be insane. I mean, and, like, instantly everyone would turn... Oh, okay, yeah, well... Here, sorry, I did that thing where I had 3 thoughts at once, and then I interrupted myself. I'll finish one. So yeah, instantly everyone would turn on Jax if that happened, because everyone loves Ragatha. Pomni would want to fucking kill him. Gangle would want to kill him. Zubul would want to kill him. And then, of course, you might have to have Kane, like, try to do some crowd control and, like, separate them. And speaking of Kane, there's a line in this episode that feels incredibly foreshadowing where Zubul, I think, correctly states, like, the only reason he doesn't just torture us 24/7 is because he likes us. You know what I mean? Like, his programming is clearly to make us happy, to entertain us. If we push him too far and he realizes, oh, this is a lost cause, like in the last episode when they're doing the therapy and she's like, hey, we actually really don't like your adventures. If he ever got to a point where he was like, nothing I do will please these people, he might just say, fuck it, never mind, I'm done trying to please them, and then their lives could be, like, literal hell. So, like, I think Zubul's onto something. Like, they really should play along, because if he stops trying, then they could all just be living in pure agony and torture,
Oh, yeah. And, like, I feel like that would be Jax's fate if he causes somebody to abstract.
Yeah, I wonder if Kane would be, like, pissed about that. Well, it's interesting, because Kane was pretty nonchalant about Kaufmo abstracting, but that he didn't know if anyone like directly caused that, I guess. But I mean, I guess
Right.
I wonder if he saw Jax like purposely do it, if he'd be like, whoa, that's not very fucking digital circus friendly of you. Um,
Into the torture chamber for you.
yeah, maybe. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was I I like that Jax is kind of a representation of like the id of the gamer, right? Like every adventure Jax goes on, he is like, he's like the GTA player who's like, I don't want to do the missions. I just want to go around and shoot cops and blow shit up, and you know what I mean. I want to crash all the cars. So like, Jax in this environment in this episode is really interesting because he's brought to like his natural weakness. He's brought to an area where the whole point of it is that no, you cannot gamify this. I know you want to treat every mission like a video game. Like we saw what he did in the Candy Kingdom, right? They do the mission, but before they ended, he's like, by the way, I left your gate open so the big monster can get in. That's some shit I would do in an open world game. I'm going to lead this fucking enemy over to this NPC and watch them fucking kill each other. You know what I mean? So like,
Exactly.
we get into this fast food situation and he's like, instantly, how do I make this not serious? How do I denormal this? How do I make this like a video game? I'm going to throw Ragatha in the deep fryer and laugh at it. And then we have Gangle like, no, I'm fucking putting a stop to that, right? And of course, Kane doesn't end up having the balls to actually torture them or like punish them at the end. But in the moment, they don't know that. So like with this threat of like, hey, if they suck, you're gonna get punished. Even Jax is like, another great line read, right? Like, why would you do this? And then that's of course when we get the manic episode line. But like, I love that. I mean, genuinely like getting a kind of where Jax kind of actually has to listen because he doesn't know how bad this torture could be. You know, if Kane goes nuts with it, who knows what you could be going through. And seemingly Kane gave Pomni like, or I'm sorry, not Pomni. It seems like Kane gave Gangle like omniscient powers too, like because the hands, I assume. Either those were Kane's and Gangle's able to just be like, kind of talk to Kane like, hey, Kane, he punish him, and because like they were, I don't know, the fucking hands that just came out and dragged him. I don't know if like Gangle facilitated that or if Kane did, but either way, I mean, wow.
It was clever. I like that a little bit there.
The analog horror shit from Gangle there. Are you smiling? Why not?
Like the analog horror is so fucking it's classic, like old school YouTube too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see a lot of that era of stuff bleeding through anymore. Everything's like overproduced and jump cutty.
There's little subsections. I still am a big recommender of Eye Patch Wolf. He has like my favorite things, and he found a series called I think it's called Valverde. Or let me double check, but it's like a whole series where someone like made like a fake video game. But like it's presented as if it's like, hey, I found this video game. Let's go through it. But like as they go through, it's like a creepypasta, and it's like so well produced and so analog horror. I heard about it through Eye Patch Wolf. I want to make sure I shout this out correctly. I think it's like Val something. Does this sound familiar to you? I should send it to you if are you craving a little analog horror? Maybe you'd like this.
It would give me something to watch during my break.
It'll be it's spooky. Well, I just want you to know it's like it plays out with the pacing of an analog horror, right? So like it's like a guy, he's going through the game. First episode, it's like stuff's a little weird, kind of, that's weird. It has good pacing, and then slowly as you go through it, it's like gets weirder and weirder. It's very interesting.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well.
But anyway, like we have that.
I found it. It's called. I'm sorry, real quick. It's called Valle Verde. VALLE VERDE. Yeah, just look that up. It'll say found footage part 1 of blah blah blah, because he's presenting it as if it's a real game he found, but it's like something he's like totally like animating himself. It's really interesting. Yeah,
that sounds amazing. But we have like the foreshadowing of like what might be able to be done with Kane's powers through that. All while any employee performance review bullshit, right?
Oh, B plus.
Is so fucking toxic because like no matter how good of an employee you are, they'll always find something to bitch about, right?
And they have that good line where it's like, being a higher up, you could push the blame onto your employees, which managers do all the fucking time.
If it wasn't for the back half crew, if it wasn't for the front half crew,
obnoxious.
If it wasn't for the night shift, if it was for like y'all can communicate what the fuck is going on. I mean, we are a team after all, but no, we're not.
Oh, it's awful.
But anyway, like in an era where like the performance review itself has been replaced by a pip now,
Oh.
It's so refreshing to see like the old school, like, well,
Yeah.
and that's over here we can improve in like the fastness of making the burgers instead of talking to your coworkers more, kind of shit. Instead of like, you have 6 weeks to fix your shit or you're fired.
Yeah, it'd be nice to fucking have some human communication. Yeah. God, I see why old people get like jaded and shit by the end of their life. It's like, oh man, you start to really be like, fuck, I hate what
Maybe
the
the
world's.
boomers aren't completely wrong.
Oh, it's happening to us. I mean, it's hard to say. I think there's a tightrope you walk of like, don't just hate everything because it's new, but like I understand to an extent, right? Like, because as I said, this AI shit is making me so sad and doomer, and it's like that's probably how they felt when they like were like, oh, the kids don't read newspapers and play with sticks anymore. You know what I mean? Like that's our generation's version of that.
The kids don't play stick swords anymore or kick the can.
Yeah.
They just sit in front of their newfangled video game machines.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy, man. Getting old. I'm feeling it. Well, but yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? I mean, we wanted this one to be a shorter one anyway because we both need to work tomorrow. But ironically, fitting for this episode, we need to get back to the old slog. But yeah,
Back to chucking boxes.
Oh, I suppose we should talk about the Gummy Goo section's really interesting, right? Because I didn't actually expect Pomni. I knew she like liked him. I didn't realize she was like down bad for him. Like the vibe, the energy that Pomni gave was like she wants to be like tied to a bed and dick down by this fucking gummy gator. Like, I'll be real. Like I was like, damn, Pomni. Okay, get it, girl.
It's been how long in this simulation?
Yeah, I wonder if I can feel an orgasm here. Oh man.
I mean, the logic of VR.
If you can feel pain, you can feel an orgasm. Two sides of the coin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like the logic of VR is like there's got to be an inhibitor to like.
Oh
deal
yeah.
with.
I've read enough fucking Sword Art Online fanfics where it's like, I've turned off the inhibitor so your orgasms are 20 times
Blame
as
Reki
powerful.
for that. Blame Reki for creating chapter 16.5 for putting that into people's brains.
Are we talking about the
canon.
Oh man. God, yeah, no,
Chapter 16.5 is technically canon, and he wrote his own goddamn fanfic where Kirito and Asuna fucked.
I mean, yeah, it's fucking good stuff, It's fucking good stuff. I used to be obsessed with SAO fanfic because you could do this thing where it's like, I'm feeling 20 times the orgasm that I would be, but I can't pass out because I'm in a video game. Normally my brain would be shutting down because of the pleasure. Big fan of that bullshit.
It's so weirdly.
I need that for Pomni right now. Have you seen the fucking fan? There's a really good fan art. Like, I've seen a lot of Gummy Goo Rule 34, but the best one is where they draw his dick like a gummy worm, so it's got those ridges on it, but it's like a thick gummy worm, and like Pomni's like looking at it, like side eyeing it, like damn. Have you seen that one?
I need that inside me.
And then there's also one where they're laying in bed and she's taking like a big bite off his crotch.
God.
Oh my god. There's also an interesting detail. Where when she mentions to Gangle like, well, it's Gummy Goo, and in the background he's like reacting to her knowing his name, and he's like, whoa, what? Like that's interesting, because of course from his perspective he's become completely reset, so yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, like for him obviously,
yeah,
but it's also weird for Pomni too because like they don't get their memory wiped.
Yeah, well, I like that moment too because Gangle's taking this fucking fast food adventure like way too seriously because I think it's like her one moment to have power, right? Like it's the one moment where she's not like being stepped all over. So she's like, get back to work, and Pomni's trying to be like, well, it's not real, and I'm just she's treating it like this is an NPC. I just want to see him again, and so I like that moment a lot too because like you have kind of Pomni almost going more the Jax direction there where it's like I'm not really gonna take this too seriously because like I know it's not real, but like Gangle gets lost in the sauce. Not the stupid sauce, though.
No, she gets lost in the dancing in traffic sauce.
Yeah. So that's a question she did answer on Tumblr was like, hey, is that supposed to be interpreted as like suicide or did she trip? And she said it's up to audience interpretation. But yeah, I mean, who among us hasn't wanted to kill ourselves after a shift at a minimum wage job?
Yeah, no, totally not. For legal reasons. No,
Legal? It's
no
not
criminal.
illegal to say you want to kill yourself. You just can't do it.
No, you can't kill yourself because of government property.
Hey, yeah, that's why they assign us numbers. Am I right?
Mhm.
What was I gonna say? I think from Jack's character perspective, it's interesting to point out that he is very preoccupied with how he's perceived by other people, right? So when he's getting like clockwork oranged in the fucking employee training video section, the first and only thing he says is, "No one can see this, right?" That's his main concern, is that people can't see him in a position of weakness. And then at the end of the episode, when he's like, "I'm clocking out. Fuck you. This was shitty. Goodbye." He's smiling, but the second he gets outside, he lets that smile droop. So like what I'm gathering from his characters, he's very preoccupied with how he's perceived by others. He wants to be perceived as like this fucking like alpha sigma that doesn't care about anything, and nothing gets to him. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah.
But like having to work a dead ass 9 to 5 for even a day.
Oh yeah.
And just got to him, and like I feel like more people should have to do that.
Everyone should at least once.
Should be mandated that you have to put at least 3 months into a 9 to 5. That is shit.
Yeah.
Then maybe you would treat your like fucking essential workers, as we used to be called.
God, that was funny. Please don't let society collapse, please.
I need my toilet paper and my 87 cases of Baja Blast.
Oh, I mean, who can blame them? Baja Blast. Did you see that they're doing 2 liters of Baja Blast now? Finally, prayers have been. Oh, you're fucked. It's over. The diabetes is coming.
I just nutted a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, we just saw that for the first time at Meyer like yesterday. I was like, what the fuck? When did this start?
Oh, it's so Jovert.
Yeah, I remember you carrying around a whole ass 2 liter of Mountain Dew to IG Tech.
God, yes.
But yeah, pretty good episode. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The crash out at near the end was just
that
perfect.
term really fucking came out of nowhere, and now it's everywhere. By the way, Jesus Christ. Anyway, continue.
like how long has this shift lasted? Like, just like,
have we been here for hours, days, weeks, even? Oh no, that clock's broken. Yeah, I mean that's also how it feels, Yeah, this episode's so interesting because it feels the least like a show structure. It really does just feel like this was Gooseworks' vent sesh for fucking the McDonald's trauma.
I need someone to make an Amazon one of these.
Yeah. God. Let's see what else. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I guess now it's just like, yeah, we have a Ragatha episode next time, and I'm really interested to see how that goes.
I'm curious, like, because she's still high. Like,
yeah.
How that's gonna be portrayed.
Well, I imagine they're gonna be like, Kane, we thought it would like stop by the time when we left the Spudsies, but it's still happening, and he's gonna be like, what? Oh, I feel like they're gonna be surprised that it like hasn't faded yet. Yeah, I also think, and this is just like mega crackpot theory, you could spin it where like actually it did fade, but she's pretending to still be high because she's enjoying not having to be fake nice anymore. That's just a crackpot theory for you. That's a crackpot theory. I could see her just
chaos theory.
Yeah. I could see her being like, "Fuck you, Gangly, you're annoying," but in her head she's like, "Yes, I finally get to tell her how annoying she is."
Yes, I finally get to vent. And Pomni, your dress looks so stupid.
Well, actually, I think she wants to fuck Pomni. I think she's into it. Do you remember when she's like, "I wish someone would flirt with me," after she was said that like Pomni was flirting with Gummy Goo? I'm just saying, the shippers are eating that up.
Oh God, yeah.
Let's see. Another, I guess we can wrap it up with, we're actually just about to hit half hour. How perfect. I really, really, again, so many vocal stints for this episode. The fucking customer, "Excuse me, yeah, little jester." I adore whoever did that voice, man. So excellent. I ordered this stupid burger. I just love, "Excuse me, little jester." I really... It's good, man. It tickles my brain. The voice acting in this is so good.
I love that we get to see like past, NPCs as well.
Yeah, that's really cool. And she mentioned that in the Candy Kingdom when she was sad about Gummy Goo. Like, she was like, hey, he reuses them a lot. And Orbs Man was like a Gummy Goo for Ragatha and Jax, seemingly. Like, they remember him from a previous one.
Oh, I hate this guy.
Never. I love, oh, yeah, we wait until after hours for that. Excellent. So, more excellent lines I'm remembering now. Like, where Zubal's like, can you help Ragatha? I think she huffed paint or something. Huffing paint and not waiting for a designated break? Yeah. By all means, huff paint, but do it on your damn break, all right?
It's like me at work. Like, I literally will walk out after I clock out, light a blunt, and walk to the parking lot. They're like, well, we can't say anything. You're technically off the clock.
Yeah, facts. And then I think the only other thing we probably should mention is another good Jax moment where, like, he kind of starts, like, a genuine conversation with Pomni, and Pomni's, like, thrown off by it. You know, I mean, like, this adventure really kind of threw Jax off his game, because his whole thing is like, nothing matters, I'm gonna fuck with everything. But like, you put him back in a scenario that resembles your past life back in, like, on Earth, you know, and in reality. And I think maybe, you know, his form of trauma and dealing with his trauma is escapism. It's like, you know, I'm not thinking about real life, but this kind of brought him back to that. So I love, you know, the genuine attempt at a conversation with Pomni where, like, he was literally just like, asking her genuinely, how are you doing? And then even before that, where Ragatha just bluntly tells him that he hates her, or she hates him, and he responds very genuinely, like, you're drunk or something, you know. So, like, you know, very, very human from Jax. I enjoyed those scenes.
Yeah, like, and I've always stood by the like adage that drunk thoughts are sober feelings, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, if you ever see somebody, like, fully drunk and they vent to you, like, and they're at their most vulnerable, but they're at their most authentic, right?
That's why, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, please continue.
That's one thing I really enjoyed about being a bartender for as long as I
Yeah.
was, because I got to see, like, the actual side of people, sometimes people I knew.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, damn, you're really, like, fucked up, but also, like, I feel you, you know.
It's very true.
Let's get you home.
Yeah, I mean, so on New Year's Eve, I got drunk with, you know, I don't know if, so I should probably tell you, you know, because I've been, every time I've mentioned them to you, I've been using their dead names just because I figured you didn't know, but I should probably tell you now. So, Andrew goes by Rue now, and then, Andy goes by Skoo now, which is a short for Skooma, which is the quintessential cringe trans name. Skooma from fucking Skyrim. Yeah, we all made fun of. We made fun of them for that, but you know what? That's their choice. But all that to say, we got drunk, very drunk on New Year's Eve, and it was just like the gayest, most feelings fest ever. It was nice. It was really nice. We were like, you know, we just got to be like, I love you, man. It's really nice. It's sometimes guys especially need that because we're so bad at being, you know, non-irony poisoned with each other. Yeah.
And it's a very necessary moment, I feel like, to be at least, like, fully shit-faced drunk.
Just don't rely on it. Yeah, you should learn to be able to be genuine without alcohol.
Right, but I mean, it's a way to break past that barrier.
Absolutely, yeah.
That has really helped a lot of people. I am not a therapist by any stretch of the imagination.
This is not medical advice.
So don't take anything I say. Like, my license was in bartending, and that was my coping mechanism.
Which is kind of like a therapist.
Yeah, a therapist without the need for a HIPAA form.
Excellent. Well, final thoughts here, wrapping it up.
This was awesome. I am very much looking forward to Ragatha.
Me too.
I hope that we get to see some more interesting NPC designs.
Yeah. I'm really curious what the next adventure is going to be because, like, you know, I'm itching for like a traditional adventure again now that we did this boring, like, you know, fast food thing. Like, I want them to do some wacky shit again.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, there's definitely going to be at least one more big adventure. I feel like they'll culminate.
Well, we know the last. So we have 9 episodes total. We know the last 3 are going to be insane. So she called this episode 5 is going to be the calm before the storm, is what she said, right? So this one's going to be the last, like, lighthearted one, and then, like, 6, 7, 8, 9 are all going to be, like, oh shit, from what I understand. So, looking forward to that.
Getting a lot of oh shit moments back to back really feels like Dragon Ball Z era of cartoon, and I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, I think what's, and I like that she's sticking to one season too. I think despite like how popular it is, it's really cool that she's like, no, we're doing one season in and out, actual storytelling. We're not fucking dragging this out. I really appreciate that.
Exactly, and I feel like maybe we'll get some longer episodes too, and that. Because
Oh yeah,
I want to wrap everything up and not leave it open for interpretation or a need to fill in the gaps.
yeah, I could see the finale being like an hour or something.
That'd be really cool.
It would be.
Having an hour-long episode.
And then Glitch has another show coming up called The Gaslight District, which people.
Oh God.
What's that? I'm looking forward to it. Why?
The name.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's about. I mean, maybe it is, but yeah, it's that'd be funny if it was about people that gaslight each other. No, I mean, Gooseworks said it's looking really cool, so I mean, I'll give it a shot for sure. I didn't like Murder Drones super much, but I mean, like this is a whole new team, whole new show, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, like Murder Drones didn't really fit my taste buds too much. Like I watched it all, but it was very much more of the Gen Z, Gen Alpha humor than like what I'm into.
But that's what's nice about Glitch. They're like this huge platform whose whole thing is like giving like indie artists a shot and like budget to make like an indie show. It's like a A24 for animation. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm very happy that something like that exists too.
Me too. Especially going forward into this era where, like, Mufasa.
Mufasa is lying and gaslighting people on the internet. That's #1 in the movie, and they're getting community noted into oblivion.
So funny. Yeah, Jim Carrey was hilarious in Sonic 3, by the way. Holy fuck.
Dude, I know that, like, it's definitely the end of his career. But also, motherfucker, come back for Sonic 4.
He said, I don't know how. I mean, but like, Eggman is kind of like the master from Doctor Who now, where like every movie he dies and then somehow survives. So he said in an interview recently that he'd be down to come back for Sonic 4, and it's like, stop fucking killing him then.
Like, I don't know how he's not dead.
Yeah,
this
well,
one.
I mean, Shadow's not dead, so you could easily just be like, "Oh, Shadow grabbed him and like teleported him to Earth or something." Like, I'm sure they could just do that.
And somehow
Eggman survived. And with that,
peace.